and welcome to another episode. In today's episode, I am going to teach you what is an operator in JavaScript. But before we get started, if you are new in my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so to get started in today's episode, I guess you're used to this, but I need to say it again. Just make sure to open W3 Schools. We're going to be using that today. In a W3 School, you're going to jump into the JavaScript section, and now you're going to hit where it says operators, okay? Just have this open. And then I also need you to open MDN, and I will explain you shortly what you're going to do in MDN. Now, in addition to this, I also have opened the document that we have been coding so far with. I have Visual Studio Code open as well. So once you have all that set up, let's jump into this episode. Okay, everybody, so the first thing that you need to know is what is an operator. So an operator is a symbol that is used to perform an operation, okay? And you can do an operation with either values or also variables. So I hope that's clear, but let me explain you what I'm talking about. If you jump into w3schools.com and you jump into the section that I already stated, operators, you will see here an example in what an operator is. Let me give you this as an example. This symbol right here is the addition operator because X in addition to Y will equal, and then you give a result, right? Which is Z. Now this other symbol right here, the equal, it's an assignment operator. This operator assigns a value to either a variable, or it could be also a function, or whatever. It's just assigns a value. So this is called an assignment operator in JavaScript, and this is an addition operator in JavaScript. Okay, so just so you know, there are a whole bunch of operators, and I am not going to cover all of them in this chapter, because if I do that, then this chapter will not have an end. I mean, it will have an end, but it'll take hours and hours, right? And my purpose for this course is for you to learn how to use JavaScript and, get started with projects and actually use it to either get a job, make your project come true, or whatever you want to use it for, right? But if I explain every single detail of JavaScript to you, we are never going to end the course. So just to keep it simple, I'll explain you how operators work, and I'll give you the examples into our code. But I need you to do a homework, and that homework is to read and actually read a little bit more in what each operator is and how they work. So in order for you to read about that, you can take a look at W3 Schools, and you can read some examples here. They have really great examples. But also, if you scroll a little bit down, you will see here it says types of JavaScript operators, and you will have all this type of operators. We have arithmetic operators, assignment, comparison, string, logical, bitwise, etc., etc. So what I need you to do on MDN, because MDN is the official site for JavaScript resources, okay? So you can go ahead and actually do the following. Select, let's say, the first type of operators. You can copy this. If you go to JavaScript, and let's say you start in references and you are in the JavaScript section right here, then you can go to the search bar, and then you can paste what we just copied, which is arithmetic operators, that word. And then you just hit enter, and you're going to find a couple of articles in here. So you can go ahead and actually click on the first one, and that will be okay. So let's click on that one. And here you go. You are going to have an article about expressions and operators that you can read more about. And at your right, you will see all the operators that there is in JavaScript. So you can click in any of them if you want to learn a little bit more of each one of them. So let's jump into our code, and let me explain you how operators works, okay? So going back to our document, let's open Visual Studio Code. So we are going to, well, the first thing I want to do is erase everything that we have done so far in this code, because we're not going to be using this, okay? So let's just erase everything. And also, let's erase this. So let's just keep our code short. Hit save, refresh. Okay, there's no errors anymore. There we go. Okay, so now we have an empty document here in JavaScript. So the first thing that you can do to an operator, let's use the assignment operator, is to assign the value of a variable. You have already actually seen certain operations that we have done with variables. And also when I teach numbers, you saw that data type, we can use 8 plus 1, etc. Right? So let's first, let's give a value to a variable. So let first person, okay, first person, and remember I'm camel casing here. So let first person equals, okay, equal, and then we're going to make this a string, and then let's call this first person John, okay. And you do not have to use semicolon each time. I'm just getting used to adding semicolons just because sometimes when you are writing functions or some other operations, if you forgot to add a semicolon at the end, then you will have errors on your code. So it's a good practice that you actually use this. But if you don't use them, the code still will work, at least for the purpose of declaring variables. So anyways, I'm just using semicolons at the end. So let's hit enter. Now let second person equal to, and let's call this second person Mary. Okay, so far, if I go ahead and I hit, well, so far, first thing that you need to be aware of is that we are using the equal symbol, which stands for an assignment symbol, right, on JavaScript. So this is the assignment operator. We're assigning to first person the name of John, and to the second person, we're assigning the name of Mary, right? Remember, this is a string data type, which means it's just plain text, right? So I am going to hit save, and then, wait, so in order to see this in the console, we're going to use console.log, and then in parentheses, we're going to say console.log first person, okay? And then I am also going to console.log the second person. So instead of first person, we are also going to console.log second person. So let's hit save. Now let's hit refresh. And boom, you see, so we have here John and Mary, right? Now, what happened if, let's say, I want to say John and Mary? Well, you can do that with operators. You can do that with the addition operator. So we can say console.log, and then in parentheses, we say first person, okay? And then we add the addition operator, and then we say second person, okay? And once I do that, I am going to hit save. Now going back to our code, let's hit refresh. And you see now John and Mary has been added together. There are no spaces because I didn't add a space in between. If you want to add a space and you want to say John and Mary, then we, after the addition operator, then we go ahead and we add a space, right? And then we add a string in between, and then another addition operator, right? And then here I can add the word and. But remember, as a string, because if I only add the word and, then this is not going to work. So just make sure it's in quotes. So first person plus the string and plus the second person. So if we add all that up, I am going to hit save. And now you will see what will happen here. Okay, so John and Mary. Now, as you can see right now, it still doesn't have a space. Why? Because I didn't let a space at the beginning nor at the end of the word end. Now I just added a space there. Now let's hit save. Going back to our code, refresh, boom. Now you have a space between John and Mary. Okay, so that's the first example that I can teach you by using the addition operator. Now you can also do other type of operations, like let's say we can do on the console.log, I don't know, 8 minus 1, okay? And this is without declaring variables. You can also declare variables if you want, but we can also do console.log 8 minus 1 just directly into the console, hit save, and then when I hit refresh, it'll give me the result, which is number 7. So this, it's called a subtraction, right? So we are subtracting 1 out of 8, so that equals 7. And you can do, I mean, all type of operations. If I can say let number 1, let's use a variable with the name of x. Let x equal let's say 10, And okay, and then we are going to use let y equal, let's say 5, right? So if I use that, then I can use a third variable, let z, let's say as an example, equal x, then plus y. If I use that and then I console.log the letter z, what do you think is going to be the result in here? If I console.log z, if x equals to 10, y equals to 5, and then z, it's the addition of x plus y, what will be the value of z when I run my code here? Just think for a minute. Okay, I hope you have the answer. Let's hit save. Going back to our code, refresh. Boom, it's 15, right? Because 10 plus 5 equals 15. And if we change the operator here, let's say we want to subtract this, 10 minus 5. I hit save. Going back to our code, I hit refresh. Now the result is 5 because we're still doing console.log of z, right? So 10 minus 5 equals 5 because that's what we're telling, we're assigning the value to z to be, right? X minus y. Now we can also change this to division with the forward slash. The forward slash in JavaScript, it's to divide things. Okay, so a division, x divided by y equals, let's hit refresh, and that's 2. You see? Okay. Now another thing you can do is also multiply this. So let's change the operator and we can do a multiplication. Let's hit save. Now let's hit refresh. And now you see we have the number 50 because 10 plus 5, 10 times 5 equals 50. Okay, so you can play with a whole bunch of operators doing this and you will get different results for the letter Z depending on what operator you have here in between. Now, there is an operator in here, and because there are different type of operators and each of them will do different things. So I want to explain to you, let's take a look at the reminder assignment. Okay, so the reminder assignment, it's this symbol right here. Okay, this symbol right here. So let's go ahead and actually use this. If I do the reminder, which is the division of, let's say, let's use the number 7. Okay, and then here we're going to change the value of y to 2. Okay, so what this is going to give me is the remainder of 7 divided by 2, meaning how many times I can divide 2 or how many pairs of 2 are in the number 7. If we take a look and we add 2 times plus 2 plus 2, that equals 6, right? But there, in order to make the 7, I will need another 2. And if I add another 2, that'll be the number 8. So the remainder will be the number 1. So that should be the response or the result that we should get when we run the code right now. Okay, because 2, 2, and 2 is 6, and then we have only 1 remainder since we cannot add another 2 because it'll be the number 8, not the number 7. So I hope that makes sense. But the remainder of 7 divided by 2 will be 1. That will be what is going to be the remainder of it. I hope that makes sense, but if you have questions about this, you can leave them in the comment section and I'll reply as soon as I can, okay? So let's go ahead and run this code. Let's hit save. Going back to our document, let's hit refresh, and there you go. So the remainder of 7 and 2 is 1, okay? So that's pretty much what you can do with operators. Later on in the course, we're going to be taking a look at harder operations, more complex operations, and you're going to get the hangs of it. Right now, just read, please. Read this article on MDN, and you're going to learn a little bit more about each operator. Now, since I cannot explain all of them in this episode, if you have questions of any of them, just drop them in the comment section below so that I can help you out, okay? That's not a problem. But yeah, just make sure to read, do your homework, and you are going to be one step closer to start coding with JavaScript. Okay, everybody, so that was it for this episode. I hope you liked it. If you did, remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And remember that you can always ask Lixi. Bye, everyone, and see you again in the next episode.